Alright, let's talk Pascal's triangle. So here you have your triangle. You want to make sure for your exam that you know how to make your triangle. So making your triangle, you're going to have ones on the outside and then add your two middle terms. So 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, and so on and so on. Really important that you know how to construct Pascal's triangle, because you're not going to be given it to answer your questions on the exam. Let's talk about number 48, the sum of the rows for Pascal's triangle. The sum of the rows is whatever row it is. This is row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, corresponds to the number directly after the 1. If you take the numbers in that row and add them up, you'll get 2 to the n. Now 2 to the n is 2 to the row. Okay? So look at row 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Well, what's 2 to the 1? 2. Let's look at row 5. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 10 is 26, getting ahead of myself. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 10 is 16, plus 10 is 26, plus 5 is 31, plus 1 is 32. Well, what's 2 to the 5th power? 32. So that would be what's meant by the sum of the rows. Let's look at number 49 now. 49, magic 11. We didn't talk about it, so we're going to omit that one. 59 talks about the prime numbers. Well, what are your prime numbers? Your prime numbers are 1, 2, 1 doesn't really consider as a prime, 3, 5, 7. A number that its factors are 1 in itself. So I guess if you want to think of it that way, 1 would work. But for this case, just think about these numbers. Let's look at 5, for example. For a prime number, if you go to that row, so row 5, it means that every number in that row can be divided by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 5. So it works. Let's look at another row. Row 7. 7 is definitely prime. Well, what's 7 divided by 7? It's 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 35 divided by 7, it's perfect. They all work. So anytime you have a prime number, whether it be 3, 5, 7, not 9, not 10, 11, 13, all the numbers in that row will be divisible by that number. So that is what is meant by prime numbers in Pascal's triangle. So now let's look at some questions. The questions start with number 51. Let's get rid of these guys so we don't get confused. Alright, 51 says, what's the first term in the 5th row? So your first term isn't going to be 1, it's 5. First term in the 5th row is 5. So that's the answer to 51. The answer to 52, what is the 7th row of Pascal's triangle? So for this, I'm looking for all of these numbers. 1, 7, 21, 35, 35, 21, 7, and 1. Those are all the values in the 7th row. For number 53, what's the second term in the 6th row? Now this is where it gets a little tricky. The second term. Okay, so we're going to start looking at row 6 here. Second term, first term, second term. It's 15. 54. Let's pick a pretty purple for 54. The 6th term in the 7th row. So let's count over. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the sixth term in the 7 row is 7. It's kind of hard to see, so let's get rid of, yeah, perfect. Okay, and 55, what's the third term in the 3rd row of Pascal's triangle? So 55, the 3rd term in the 3rd row. So you get, this is your 0 term, term 1, term 2, term 3, 3rd term. There you go. Hope you understand Pascal's triangle, and I will see you for your exam on Monday.